mid travel, push it forward, and you should get an AP trim fail because the electric trim is off. You can cancel out that master warning, pull it back, same AP trim fail. This time you can go down to the test switch and hit that, and it should disconnect the autopilot. You should get an AP disconnect annunciator warning light. And then you can give the engage it again, let the co-pilot check his disconnect switch. It should get that same AP disconnect. So you cancel it out, and then the pilot will have to cancel out this AP disconnect light with his disconnect switch. The next thing you can do is go ahead and set your heading bug to the top of your HSI. The next thing you want to go ahead and do is hit altitude. Ensure that this guy is engaged, and you should get one bar and one light, the pitch couple light, come on. Hit standby, and then hit heading for 2 bars and 2 lights. Then you're going to use your heading bug and turn it to the left. You should see your steering bar go to the left and the yoke travel to the left. Turn it to the right. See the steering bar travel to the right and the yoke to the left. Center it up again. Hit your go-around switch, which is on your left power lever where your thumb goes. Hit that. You should see the AP disconnect. You should get straight level with 10 degrees nose high on the pitch. The go-around light come on as well. So then to cancel all these out, you can hit standby, hit the pilot's AP disconnect switch, and then turn the electric elevator trim off, then back on. And that's the autopilot check. So the response for that would be checked off.
Checked off. Yaw down.
You're going to ensure that the yaw dam is not on. To do that, go ahead to the test position. Make sure that it's not on the dim. Ensure that the light is out and the response is off.
Electric elevator trim.
Ensure that the electric elevator trim is on. I'm going to try on the pilot side to try and trim up and down with my left tab, up and down with my right tab. It shouldn't move with manipulating either one of those tabs. You should have to push both of them at the same time to get this elevator trim to move. So then we'll try it with both tabs, and as you can see, it's moving. And then we'll try it down, and it's moving. And while we're running it, hit that trim disconnect, and it should kick it off. So we'll turn it off, reset it back on, and the co-pilot's going to do the same thing on his side.
Exact same check. Moves. I'm able to disconnect it. Electric trim off. Reset that.
And the response is checked on.
Checked on. Trim tabs.
We're going to ensure that the trims are set 0, 0, and 3 degrees nose up. And those are set.
Set. Flight controls.
I'm going to, since we've already previously checked our flight controls in our after start checklist, I'm going to go ahead and just ensure that the autopilot is indeed disengaged. So I'm going to run it through all the axis and it's free and clear. And the response is checked.
Checked. Flaps.
This time, since we're simulating, we're going to a shorter runway. We're going to use an approach flap takeoff. So at this time, we'll need to go from flaps up to flaps approach. So I'll direct the co-pilot to flaps approach. So flaps approach.
Flaps selected approach. Flaps are at approach.
Flaps are at approach. And those are check set.
Check set. Props.
Ensure that both props are in a full forward position.
Prop sync.
Aux.
Auto feather.
I'm going to arm the auto feather switch, push it forward to the on position. The response is arm.
Radar.
At this time, if you're going to anticipate flying in any type of convective activity or any time where you might need to use the radar, you can go ahead and check at this time. First thing you're going to do with this range dial, you're going to push it or turn it to the test position. Ensure that the gain is on the preset. You want to have it full counterclockwise on your intensity, and then your tilt will be full nose up. So at this time, you got those set to where you want them. You're going to hit the normal, and you should get a sweep with 3 distinct levels, back and forth. You want to ensure that your freeze button works. Then you're going to go into the contour. Ensure that you're getting those same. That sweeps back and forth. You ensure that the freeze button works. And then that's the official check. Some technique, if you're going to actually use the radar, you're going to go ahead and go back to standby. One technique you're going to do is to go ahead and try to adjust where the tilt is. This is kind of technique only, but you'd want to go ahead and ensure that nobody's in front of you, nobody's taxiing around you. You can dial down the range to the lowest amount, bring down the tilt, and go ahead and select normal. But basically what you're trying to do is find where the ground clutter is, and you can tell that that's where your tilt is. Again, technique only. The official check is just the previous one. Make sure you're back to standby, and the response is checked standby.
Flight instruments.
At this time, you're going to want to go ahead and go through your flight instruments. So you're going to call out what you have on your side and ask your co-pilot to note his flight instruments as well and ask for any discrepancies. So my airspeed is less than 40. My RMI, his HSI is reading 127. My HSI, your RMI is reading 127. My needles are right, ball is centered. My standby ADI is centered and working. I have 0 on the VSI. Any discrepancies? And also you want to check your ADI. You've got 20 degrees left and 10 degrees up on the pitch.
No discrepancies.
No discrepancies. Check.
Altimeters.
Okay. It is called 2992. So I've got 2992 set, reading 30 feet.
30 feet.
I'm looking for 3 decision height lights.
I'm looking for 2.
So I got 3 lights.
2 lights.
I'm going to put the test switch and turn the bug to below the needle. And those lights should go out. Lights out.
Lights out.
Release the test switch. It should come back on. 3 lights.
2 lights.
And that'll trigger a master caution light for GIF-Wiz as expected. So we'll go ahead and select the appropriate altitude for whatever departure you're using. In this case, it's VFR departure. I'll use 300 feet. Altimeters are checked, set.
Checked, set. Radios, navs, FMS.
Okay. One way to organize this check is using your audio selector switches. So I can start off with Victor 1. We've been using it as a backup frequency, haven't used it, so I can hit the test switch and listen for the audible squawk on there. For Victor 2, your IP has probably used it already, so you can go ahead and test that as well, but you don't necessarily have to. The uniform we have been using, so we know it's working. So that brings us up to our VOR1. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that up. And remember, we've got the ILS dialed in, so we should be hearing that ident. And I'll also bring up the marker beacon on that side. Made sure that I've got, so we've got the ident, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure my nav one is selected. And what I'm looking for when I go to test for a localizer frequency, you can hear the audible marker beacon, as well as 1.5 dots right and 1.5 dots down on the glide.